Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Happy to have Hannibal and Pedro with me. We're all kind of trying to introduce you guys to this product, and we have the CEO of DisplayRide, Abdul Kasim. And Abdul, thank you for joining us as well.
My pleasure, Steve. Thank you for inviting me.
So Abdul and I have done a couple of these before on the camera, but you guys, I mean, really, these days, if you're not driving with a dash cam, you're kind of crazy. And there's a new product out too that we'll talk about. But I think that can we just get up to date on the dash cam itself, because the ease of it, the um, the no cost on entering, because the camera's free. You're going to be paying for the service, but the services are so much that I think people should understand this is not like, I remember when we did our first couple interviews, Abdul, you told me, you didn't like the word dash cam almost, because and it's true. I've learned this now from knowing you, that it's not the right representation of what your product is.
Right. So I think you're absolutely right. We don't really like the word dash cam because it does not capture the product, the solution rather. The dash cam is obviously one component of it and an important component. But what, we've tried to make all these elements irrelevant. I mean, at the end of the day, they're not terribly, it doesn't, it's not all these different parts. It's what they do that matters, right? That is, we're trying to solve a problem. And so we are trying to solve a problem for rideshare, for the gig economy, for the mobile drivers, basically. So that is
And including delivery,
yeah,
courier, all of it, you guys.
yeah, rideshare and delivery. Yes, absolutely. In fact, interesting sort of side note. I was reading something from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and it said that rideshare and delivery drivers are the two most dangerous occupations. They're even more dangerous than policemen and people and security guards. So
Yeah.
go figure. Right. So, anyways, we were obviously aware of the fact that safety is a big concern in rideshare, and so we crafted a solution which we call the rideshare monitoring platform to basically do that. And our goal is essentially our vision really is every gig driver has one, right? So we did two things, right? One is we crafted the features which are necessary and make sense. The second thing is we made it really simple to use, and the third thing is we made sure that it's very affordable. Like you noted, there is no upfront cost. You can just pay as you go. It's just like a subscription model. It's $25, and for your listeners, it's we give another 20% off, so it's like $20 a month. So it's pretty easy. It's not, and it really and it's always the device that is included. Everything is included. The device, there's a wireless connection to the cloud. There's cloud storage. All those things are included. And the thing it's important, and it's important to know that the device itself, which is here's how it looks, is also under warranty all the time. So if there's any problem, we fix it. It's not like a lot of dash cams you literally buy. If something goes wrong, you have to throw it away and stuff
Yeah.
like.
And we've talked about that before. A lot of the companies are even out of business.
Yeah, yeah,
Like a lot of these ones on Amazon that you guys might see that even look new, the companies are already finished.
yeah. A lot of them are from China and all that. So I mean, you can get really cheap stuff, and it's obviously what you pay for, kind of thing.
I
Uh,
mean, 90 plus percent. I mean, probably more than like 95% plus are still SD cards with no cloud upload.
yeah.
So
So
you guys, if you have those, you're it's still helpful, clearly, but if you get somebody who grabs it,
yeah,
you just lost all your footage.
yeah. So that's a good point, Steve. So our thing literally takes about, I would say, one minute. We've actually timed it on an average about 1 minute and 40 seconds to install. All you
Yeah.
need to plug it in, and I think Pedro tried it today, and so you can see on his channel. But it's just as simple as that, and you just position it, remove the adhesive, and stick it onto your windshield, and you're ready to go. And you can position it. You can see the cameras, obviously, optimize it appropriately and stuff. That's all. You don't need to download any apps, nothing. It's already connected to your phone automatically, but it does not leverage your phone. It does not require the bandwidth from your phone or anything. So that's it. You basically plug it in.
I would
Whenever
even step farther, unless things have changed, isn't it its own phone number? So it's really not using your phone. The
yeah,
only thing that happens to your phone is you get a text after every
yeah,
ride.
we try to communicate via text. We also don't require anybody to download any apps or anything.
Mhm.
So, for example, because the drivers mostly have a smartphone, inevitably have a smartphone. So if there's any urgent issue, you can get all that information right on your phone or your email if it's something important. So, but basically, what we do is as soon as you turn on the vehicle, it starts recording. You don't have to do anything.
Mhm.
It starts recording, and also you may know, and you may hear it actually. We have an audio alert which says that, hey, the ride is being recorded for your safety. We have found that to be extremely useful, because a lot of times people are drunk, whatever, or in a very aggressive mood. But once they know that they're being recorded, they tend to behave better. So that's scientifically proven fact. So it plays periodically, and it uploads back to the cloud. You're hearing that, presumably, right? So
That's what it does every like 3 minutes.
so
Perfect timing, Abdul. That was perfect.
by design, of course. But yeah, it records and it uploads to the cloud, and it keeps it there. If there's any problem, you can actually obviously access the data. And after a ride, which means when you finish the ride for the day, you turn off your vehicle, and what happens is you'll get an email with the what we call the video summary of the whole day, because we
Mhm.
don't take the whole video, because for two reasons. One is it makes no sense. You drove for 8 hours, you don't want to see 8 hour video. So we just kind of quickly scan through the entire day's proceedings with the timestamp and location stamp. So if there was something amiss, like, hey, this passenger was kind of weird, or whatever, I better kind of take some document that, nothing, because I didn't do anything, kind of stuff for your protection. You can just note that and just download again from your from what we call your driver's portal. And the driver's portal, all you need to do is press the help button. It'll send you a link. You just press that, it'll go to your portal. It's only for you, nobody else. So the reason we kept it for we tied the device to the phone of the driver is for security reasons as well. So the driver has the phone, right? Inevitably, nobody else has it. Make it very simple. Just click a link and you go. You can do whatever they want. They can actually, one of the big things, as you know, is deactivation, where, and a lot of times it's mostly false allegations or exaggerated stuff, right? But drivers don't have a recourse. So in our situation, what they do is we have an option where the driver can press get help for deactivation. So it does two things, right? One is it gives you all previous 7 days of videos, and it'll send you as a file. You can just send it to Uber or Lyft or whoever you want. So that's one thing. The other thing is you have the option of sending a copy to Legal Rideshare. They're our partners, and they can also quickly scan and sort of see, and they can advise you, and they give you free initial consultation as well. So the important thing is in the industry, and you guys can better, obviously, that currently these big multi-billion-dollar corporations have the entire, they have the power, literally. They can kick off and they deplatform anybody very at whim, literally. And so unfortunately the drivers don't have much leverage, and they don't have any say even, right? They're just told, hey. So by actually sending all the data to them and having some legal representation, what we're striving to do is trying to change the dynamic a little bit, so you feel a little more empowered. That's the idea,
Mhm.
right? And then they're going to take it. And a lot of times, I might add, from a factual standpoint, a lot of times our drivers act deactivated. We send all this, we do this process. They're pretty much reinstated within an hour.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I've talked to Bryant Greening, who's over the CEO of Legal Rideshare, and he kind of, I don't know if you remember, he was doing all those helping deactivated drivers just email me, and then he got so bombarded, he was like, "Whoa, enough! This is getting crazy." But
Right.
with these, he said that this is, I mean, he can look at it and tell right away if it's going to work. Yep,
Yeah.
we got you.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, it also does accidents and all. We have a mechanism to detect accidents automatically.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was just going to point out too the fact that like you said, mine turns on whenever my car does. So even when I'm not working,
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
this thing is, it's catching the front, the back. If somebody else gets in an accident, I have footage for them.
yeah.
It's funny, Steve. It's funny you say that, because I was telling somebody about that. I set it up, and like you said, It's very easy to set up, and I did it today, like 2 hours ago. And the hardest part, Abdul, was to take the sticker off, the sticky part. That was the most difficult part, was me to get that unsealed and to get everything was like easy. And I hate technology. I'm just not a fan. But this was super easy, so I got to give you props to that. I didn't have to do anything. Like, it was very, very good. It looks good. So definitely, the only thing was taking that sticker off and put it up. That took me the longest part.
That's not even a real complaint, but okay.
It's not. No, it's fun. It's fun. So it was super easy. Yeah.
We've gone out of a way, Pedro, because, and as Steve mentioned, right, a lot of technology, right, can actually be a barrier to a lot of these guys. We don't want them to learn about technology and all that. They have a problem, they need a solution. The easiest way. So we try to do that as much as we possibly can, and we were especially mindful of all these things. The sticker itself, we have to be a little bit, because we want it to be very stable.
No, it's perfect. I was just being funny. Yeah.
The hardest thing I might add is actually to remove it is harder than to stick it. That's the only thing I would admit. Because we want it stable and stuff like that. But the important thing also, Steve, I was mentioning earlier, is accidents, right? Whenever there's an accident, it can automatically detect, there's a sudden stoppage, it's going at a particular. What it does is it also it can send an alert, automatic alert, to your emergency contact, and they get a link. And once they get a link, they click the link, they can live stream right inside the vehicle. So if you're injured or whatever, they can intervene, right? They can call up 911, whatever, on your behalf. So that's one thing. The other thing we also have, sometimes we've seen, especially in a lot of places, cops just stop you for absolutely no reason, or under some pretext, or there's an accident and you need immediate. There's a lot of things happening. You're emotionally disturbed. You're probably physically hurt. Things like that. We also have mechanisms like, there's this simple get recording now. You just press that, and what happens is,
like within it's so
quick.
quick.
A minute or so, we'll get a message saying that the video is available, right, of the previous 10 minutes. And so we can actually, again, show it to a cop or whoever stopped us. We can basically
the video, if you hit that, the video will be to you 10 times faster than the police will be on the scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you'll have the video and be able to go, here's how it went down.
It will live stream right inside the vehicle. It's a safety thing, and a lot of people appreciate that. What else can I add? I think, those are the main things that we offer. And again,
I was going to show you one thing, Abdul, just because it's funny, because you and I were talking about this for a while last week. But look at one of the comments here. This sounds great for parents with teenage drivers.
Oh, definitely.
It's a good point.
Right?
I brought this up to Abdul last week, and we were digging into this. I'm like, I think there's a whole market of even us gig workers that have kids who are now new drivers. I want to put one in Max's car.
Absolutely. I think you're very right. Because, coincidentally, Steve, I was talking to a couple of customers, and I don't know if it was like, some kind of I don't know what it was. It's kind of really bizarre, because I think I spoke to you last week, and weekend some customers called and they said, hey, my stepdaughter got into an accident. I really wish we had this. And I'm like, oops, somebody else told me that. So, but that's an interesting point that you raise. Even gig drivers, right? Their families are worried, especially driving in night times and so on and so forth. So, what they can do is when they press, for example, the get recording or whatever, right, it sends a link. That link is only meant for that particular device and that particular person. So what they can do is literally keep that. They can literally bookmark that. So anytime they want to just check into their, to their spouse or whoever is driving, they can just click and they can just get a live stream. Same thing. Obviously, they can do the same thing with the teenage kids and so on and so forth as well. So
yeah. And before we move on to what is, you guys, this is a whole new feature and it's really cool, and it's not even about the dash cam itself, but is there an easy 2-minute thing we can say on telematics? Because it's not fully here yet, you guys, but telematics is going to be part of the future. In terms of what it could do, I think for insurance is what I meant, Abdul.
So for insurance, right, at the moment, right, we capture, even actually when you're, when you look at the video, we're adding the speed and stuff. You have a sense of the speed and stuff like that. So, but we do track speed, location, all these kind of things. In fact, one of the things I also should probably add is whenever it detects, for example, an accident, right? What it does do is, apart from the fact that it alerts your loved ones, like saying, hey, maybe you want to check into your loved one, they may be in an accident or whatever. In addition, and allows them to live stream. But in addition, what it does is it will actually create what's called an accident report, which will look at like about 5 minutes, 3 minutes actually before the accident, and 3 minutes after the accident. So you have a more holistic picture, and that also tells you how fast you're going, did you brake, all those kind of things. So you have a pretty comprehensive picture of what actually transpired during the accident. And of course, you have the video also, right? You have the video and audio, even audio as well. So from an insurance standpoint, right, they just love it because, hey, it's neutral. By the way, nobody can mess around with our data. That's one other thing which is unique to our product, right? Because even with the SD card concept, right, you can actually take only, you can only extract things that you need and all that stuff. But in our stuff, it's encrypted and directly sent to the cloud. So in any case, the bottom line is we create a holistic picture and also a very neutral picture. And that's extremely important. Remember, today there's an accident. The insurance company has to send somebody out there. They do an investigation. Literally, it takes days to figure out what happened. They hear your version, their version, all those kind of things. Here, within a matter of minutes, you get like a complete picture of the critical things, So it's kind of stuff. And also one other thing is, we can extend that. Remember the emergency contact thing I told you? We can extend it to a list, in fact. You can not only send to your loved ones or whatever, you can also send one to your insurance company. So imagine there was an accident, within a couple of minutes, or 5 minutes, you know exactly what happened, really. And you got the transcription, so you can start the process for the claim, right? And it's kind of, so we're trying to work with insurance companies as well. So that's another thing that we are.
Yeah, I was kind of talking more about the telematics in general, like the fact that, and you don't have to show this.
Sure.
You and I have talked about this, how you could kind of just use it for your own knowledge of like how you're braking, how you're accelerating.
That's a great point, Steve.
There will come a time, guys, when the insurance companies will accept this data to see if they can lower your rate.
Absolutely. There is something called UBI, which is user-based insurance, already in play. But again, insurance are they're dinosaurs for all practical purposes in terms of technology and movement. But inevitably, they'll have to, because I've seen smaller insurance companies, especially the gig economy, as you know, still in flux. It's still forming. There are force-fitting solutions to the gig economy. That's the idea, right? Whether it's insurance, whether it's dashcams, whatever it is, right? So we are seeing newer players focus on the gig economy and looking at these criteria that Steve was mentioning about. So one of the things we do offer in telematics, Steve, is if you subscribe, we offer, like, you get something called a safety score. Like it tracks how many times you accelerated, how many times you hard braked, how many times you had harsh turns, like that. All these are indications of potentially bad driving or safe driving, right? So you get a safety score. Like, if you get 90 plus, you're a pretty decent driver and stuff like that. And this is extremely important also for rental car companies. A lot of in the gig economy, a lot of guys are not using their own vehicles. They're using rental vehicles and it's not their vehicle, so they can drive rather harshly. And so the rental company will have to have to pay more from a maintenance standpoint and stuff like that. So if they are able to get this information, they can say, hey, if you drive well, and they can actually sort of monitor that, they can give you like a 5% off, because and it's a good thing. They can give you a price break. And so there's a lot of,
I think it's just good for the drivers to get too.
Yeah,
they know. I think it's good for you guys to. Can you guys score 90 plus?
No,
or are you bad drivers?
My score would be -1. I don't want to.
No, it's all private to you.
Yeah, it's private. Yeah. You don't need to. By the way,
you get to know how you're doing.
Yeah, all our data, especially the private data, nobody can access. It's all owned by the driver or whoever is paying for it. Basically, that's
right. You would only show this to insurance if you're doing really good with it.
So. Oh yeah, but to be clear about it, we do not send to insurance companies, nothing like that. No. It's just that I'm telling you, it's possible in the future. And if it is, then insurance companies will have an agreement with the driver saying it's okay, and maybe the driver will send the agent. We will never share your personal data with anyone. That's obviously important.
So let's move into the new delivery, courier, anybody getting out of the vehicle item, because I think this is pretty great, you guys. And I know one of the interviews I did with Abdul maybe a year ago, maybe it was the one just 4 months ago though too. You were even talking about this a bit, but now it's here. And here, I'll bring up 2 images. The first one just kind of shows you guys. And no, it's not a jetpack helmet. This is a guy on a bike delivering food, and that's the only reason he has a helmet on. Right. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about this delivery monitoring platform?
Sure. So Steve, obviously, the Dashcam. I mean, I hit you. I can't talk about. Our rideshare monitoring platform for drivers is pretty useful, and it captures in and out of the vehicle. But in case of delivery, right, especially like food delivery and things like that, we have noticed that people will have to go beyond the, you're going to have to go inside an apartment complex or, some place where it's out of view, right? It's not visible. So your camera is in the vehicle. It's capturing you're capturing what's in the front. But if you have to go in an alley to drop off, it's a problem. It does not. So what we did was we came up with this thing called delivery monitoring platform, because there have been a lot of instances. Like I said, delivery is also increasingly becoming thing, and people get into fights and all that stuff. So we have this body cam, and I'll share it with you. It comes actually with a vest. So let me wear this. Let me model it for you guys. You just place it. The reason we put it in a vest is because it's maintained pretty easily. So you can see it is right here.
You guys are gonna dig this too. It's got a flashlight.
So, it has flashlight, all these kind of things. And basically, all you do is you just press this here, and I hope it's powered on. So yeah, it will start recording. That's all. That's all you need to do. It starts recording. It's recording as we speak, and that's it. You don't have to do anything, right? So when you're going to and it gives you that, you see, it tells you just in case you're not sure. And then we have a lot of other features. For example, one I'll show you is we have an let me show you. Yeah, we have a light as well. Where is it here? Okay. Yeah, we have a lot of features here. I'm still myself trying to get to, but and I'm also trying to, so you see the especially in the night times when you're delivering and things like that, you need a flashlight. So a flashlight will come up also. You can set it up so that there's a flashlight. Then there is another thing that we have something called an SOS button. So that's another SOS button. You'll see what happens is it sends a message again, like in the in the rideshare monitoring platform. You see, I got a message here on my phone because I'm the emergency contact for this thing actually, and you can see here, for example. So I got a message here on my phone saying that somebody sent an SOS. Hey, so you can do the same thing. So something is wrong or whatever it can look. And here I just, this thing also is turned on. You can
so
see.
The last time you showed it to me, you didn't have it in the vest, which I love the vest for night, but for the day, you can just have that thing out too.
Yeah, you can. The only reason we do it is again for stability and consistency, Steve. I mean,
is there no clip on it to go onto a shirt or?
It's pretty heavy actually because it has a battery which lasts for 8 hours. We want it to be stable, and this is easier, and also it's pretty stable. People may do it differently, not position it appropriately, so we're doing that. The other thing is this is like a just a vest that we got, but we're going to get we're going to get a vest with we can color it, customize it, brand it, whatever.
That looks like it'd be really good for guys and gals on bikes, like in New York City, big cities. That's perfect. So it's, you know what I mean? Like when you're doing the bike couriers and stuff like that.
Well, it's also proof of, if you do Amazon Flex, it's proof that you delivered all your packages. For food, if the platform says you didn't deliver, it's proof you did.
Yeah.
More than the pictures, because they could say you took the picture and then took it. If you have a video of getting back into your car, no, you didn't.
Yeah, definitely a lot of things you can do. And, it's the idea is you're extending that recording beyond in that last, I don't know a mile, but the last stretch right, of the delivery process. And the other thing, like it's like I said, it has a flash, as you guys can see. Let me turn it off. But there are a lot of things like that. We can obviously do things which are simple, straight. Again, we don't need to worry about anything. You just need to press, and that's it. You don't need to worry about technology. That's our whole mantra. You just need to know where to press and where to shut. Like I think I've shut off the thing. And when you go back, right? All the data is up in the cloud, and it's like in the Dashcam. Remember, we have all those things where we can actually see. It's same thing here. If you want to access any particular data, you just press help. Please use the link sent to the phone. It is sent this link, and again, you'll get to your portal, and you just click a link, and I got it right here on my phone. I just press that; it'll take me to my portal. I can download whatever video I want, and things like that.
See, I would think at night in maybe bad areas too. Like, not only is that vest good, but the fact that you're video recording and with a flashlight, that's going to deter things. Somebody will just wait for the next driver.
I think one of the other things we also have, I think, is let me see it. When we say, I've not turned it on. So we can actually, when we turn on the recording, right? We also have this SOS button, right? The SOS button will actually make a noise, and after a little couple of seconds, it'll say a message. So it'll say something like that, right? So what happens is, whoever, let's say there's a confrontation and stuff, people, again, very much the same logic. If they know they're being recorded and stuff, they'll probably back off or whatever, right? And that can make, it may seem very trivial, but it's the difference. You know how it is, right? When there's a confrontation, it escalates very, very quickly sometimes, right? So it's a matter of life and death, and that's simple as that. So we have all these capabilities. We also can take pictures. So one of the things I think Pedro, Steve and I were talking about was in New York City, for example. If somebody violates the bike lane, Hannibal, I think you're also familiar. Like if you violate the bike lane, right, you can actually capture that information and send it to DOT. You get like 25% of their fine.
Wasn't there an app we talked about, Hannibal Narc or something?
Yeah, where because it also they put that in because how often even I've been guilty of blocking the lane, even to deliver food. So that's the thing. Like I'm in a car, I may block the lane because there's no place to park the car. But I think safety is extremely important. I think especially with both products, it just enhances the safety and accountability because we are out there as gig workers on an island. We have to deal with companies where they're not necessarily going to fight as hard to handle a situation if if someone said that we didn't deliver food or we harassed a customer, any of those kind of situations. This helps just alleviate that process and makes things a little bit more comfortable just to deal with. So it's a safeguard, to be honest, to your livelihood, but also your life, right? So I think it's extremely important. I remember the conversation I had with Abdul months ago about this product, and I thought this is amazing. Everyone should have it. Everyone should have this, because I do remember one really sad story about an Uber driver. I think we talked about this, Steve, months ago. I think a mother of four. She's doing Uber. A bunch of robbers went in her car. She had a dash cam, but the guys were able to take it and throw it away. Like threw it out the window because it was based on an SD card. And she was with these men for another hour before they murdered her because they were looking to try to get money out of her. And it's really sad. And you think like with something like this product was able to, maybe when they got into Uber and they had that audio saying this ride is recorded, maybe they wouldn't even done anything. Or at least if there's something started to happen, there's the SOS, there's means where maybe if she had more features to her situation, maybe she'd be able to be here. So it's extremely important. I think Abdul said
plus alert to a family member, being able to live stream in, and
correct.
I mean,
being gig workers is an extremely dangerous profession, which is really odd when you think about it. We're just transporting people and food and products. Correct. Why is it so difficult, or not difficult, but why is it such a dangerous thing? Is because we're out in neighborhoods we're not necessarily familiar with. they, you know, the people who are trying to take advantage, they know we don't belong in it on this block or this neighborhood. And I think a lot of that is just they looking for opportunities to take advantage. So products like this is extremely important to have if you're going to be out there on the road.
Yeah. I think what else did we not cover here, Abdul? I want to make sure that we got it all, especially with the dash cam too, because guys, I do believe that's everybody should have that, because even when you turn the car off, that's maybe one thing we forgot. Even when you turn the car off, you get 2 minutes of recording that it still records. So like in reality, if you were to, you know, if you don't, like me, I don't do a lot of delivery. I do curry and I do, you know, some delivery, but whatever. But if I angled my car right towards the porch, it's going to get 2 minutes. I could turn my car off, take the delivery up,
Right.
drop it, come back, and it's going to record that on the dash cam.
So it's kind of seamless, right? The idea is obviously you're in a vehicle, and a lot of people actually are do both rideshare and delivery, right? So you know, I think this can sort of, our goal is to help, you know, in both those options, right? Whether you're doing rideshare or delivery, we have something to basically keep it safer. The only thing I would say is it's pretty easy, and again, we try to keep it aligned. As you saw, the interface and all that looks the same. The portal will all be the same. So, and also, like I said, a lot of the gig workers are doing both rideshare and delivery, right? So for them, we can offer like a additional discount, you know, if they have both, because they may need both, right? They may need both the cam as well as the body cam as well. So either one, so we can give that. So for your, you know, your community can go to, I think, you know, you probably put out the links so they can just order.
Oh yeah.
And we'll give an additional 20% off for
so you can, anything in my videos here it doesn't even have to be on DisplayRide. I'll have my link. Hannibal has one. Pedro has one.
Sure, absolutely.
So you guys, just find our links if you want to do this, because it does get you a discount. So make sure you use them. But I'm trying to figure out Tony's question here. I think he meant, will it work with a dash cam battery like Blackview has it? It actually just plugs into your cigarette lighter, or your, I think it can do USB port too with the converter?
Yeah. It's
so.
a lot of drivers, so it's like a couple of bucks for another converter. But yeah, we do that. We do not, again, the reason we don't have like a battery and stuff like that is because we are trying to capture the active process, right? That is, when you're driving,
right?
Much. And
I think he's also referring to, like, if you guys, I know Abdul, you and I have talked about this. There used to be a camera. It's not even a space that a lot of people do the cloud stuff. I'm telling you, like 95% plus of dash cams, be careful because they can get expensive and they're all SD cards. But there was one Owl that I remember their service fee was pretty high. It was like $40-$50 a month. But if you touched that bumper and you were sleeping, the Owl camera would kick on. So if somebody was trying to steal your car in the middle of the night, that's like one of the few things that this might not capture. Yeah. But once they turn it on, it'll turn on.
Yeah, definitely. But remember, if they actually drive the vehicle, there's a GPS locator, so you know at any point we know where the location is of the vehicle. But yeah, you know.
But I just never saw a need for that anyway. I thought the service was too expensive. So
yeah, unfortunately, actually, we have a lot of Allcam customers, also because I think Allcam is shut off a while ago.
So so just to kind of summarize this here for the dash cam part, is if you use one of our codes, it's $20 a month, right? And you pay nothing for the camera. The camera's free.
Yeah, exactly. So what we do is we are actually offering it like a service. You can think more like a cable service and stuff. The cable box comes with it. And again, it's always, the device itself is always under warranty. So if there's any issue, whatever, will be immediately replaced. So it's just
I can tell you guys, I've had mine for, I don't even know, maybe a year and a half, and I have never had an issue with it.
Right, and it also includes the wireless connection. You guys know how expensive wireless is because everybody owns a phone. So we include the wireless as well. And the only reason we are able to, optimize it and give a reduced price is because we have thousands of drivers. But that's extremely expensive for us to upload video because videos are pretty heavy bandwidth.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why. To be honest, I think that's partially why Owl didn't make it. They obviously had to try and charge what they did, and I think that was just because they didn't have enough people signing up, and it just was way too expensive. But for, I don't know, even for the 25, but you guys can all get it for 20 just by using the links. But even for that amount, it's worth it. I mean, I gotta tell you, like, this is recording all the time. Even with, like, even when you're personal. I mean, you see somebody getting in an accident, maybe it's not even you. You can give me that last 10 minutes of footage and literally text it to the person.
Exactly.
So you can be like, you can walk up and be like, I saw it all. What's your phone number? I'll text it to you.
We did that actually. One guy did, he saw a vehicle in front, had an accident, and it was captured on his thing. He gave it to, so that's pretty frequent. Yeah, it's pretty, I think, it's less than $1, and it's more importantly, it's a safety thing. You can go have some peace. If everybody, the passenger feels safe, the driver feels safe, it contributes to a nicer, more pleasant environment, hopefully, in addition to being safer. So, it improves your rating. All those kind of things are there. And I think, like we mentioned earlier about insurance, right? Inevitably, that will come through one day or the other. They will try to give some benefits because the liability, the risk is reduced fundamentally, which is what. So
Yeah.
I think having this is so useful.
So I was showing UDM's comment here so this is a dash cam. So at the beginning we discussed this. So Abdul doesn't really like the term dash cam because it does so much more.
Right.
It really does. I've had a few dash cams, and I can tell you I've had a mirror clamp one. I've had one that went into the glass. I've had all of them. And so I've had this one now for a while, and this it's bulletproof. It's light. It just turns on when the car's on. The install, he wasn't kidding. It takes under 2 minutes for real. Once you hook it up, it just needs to get power. Once it has enough, it kicks on, and you're done.
I did mine today. It was super easy to put up, and it doesn't look bad. It's not too big where it looks clunky. It feels like it's in the way. Pretty streamlined. So comes with these little attachments. You could run the cord along like a window or whatever.
If you want to hide it. And
we send some clips so that it doesn't dangle, the wire doesn't dangle.
Right.
Absolutely.
Super easy to put on.
So and it does night, Tony, too. Yes.
Does it has infrared lights.
So it captures it all.
To be clear, infrared on the inside. Outside, the problem with, we do have infrared, but the outside camera, whenever there is a glass partition, the infrared doesn't go through. So there is some issue. There is nothing to do with us. But most of the times, in the nighttime, usually there's a traffic light, or headlights from vehicles, so it captures.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never seen a problem. I can see license plates on it. I can.
Yeah, whatever you can see visually, you can definitely capture. Inside, of course, it has infrared. It has several LEDs.
So that's DisplayRide, you guys. It's that simple. You go to DisplayRide.com. You can look around and find out more about it, or you can find in any of our show notes, a link to download it and to use a code and get it for $20 a month. And I'm telling you, it's 20. None of us are looking to spend on 100 things a month, but this is one we should have. I mean, if you spend this much time on the road, you should have a dash cam.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And the body cam as well, right? If you're delivering and stuff, especially. That's important.
Yeah. Especially if you're full time, if you're out there a lot, and we know some people are driving 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, you have to have one or both of these. It's such a small investment. If you look at how much you're spending per day, on it, $20 a month, to save you possible time and money, and later if something happens, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, and of course it's tax deductible, and like I said, one of the things we can't obviously publicly say that, but in the future, definitely insurance companies will give a break, one way or the other. May not be direct, but indirectly. So your premiums go down because you represent low risk. And I think, as Steve also mentioned about telematics, how you drive.
So if you drive well, why should you pay the same amount as somebody who doesn't, right? So simple as that.
A good
Plus,
point.
maybe I wasn't paying attention for many years, but I see way more hit and runs than I ever have. I don't know why.
I had one last and I didn't have it up. And if I would, it wouldn't have mattered. Well, maybe because the guy just left. He hit me from behind, but I would have had that.
Yeah, but it would have had his
saw the police
footage of the license plate coming up.
Well, I got the guy's plate.
Oh, yeah.
But still, yeah, think about it.
But it would have had the footage to show what happened.
But if he tried to dispute, or if there was any dispute, it's going to save you. You're going to have that. So even if you're not doing a active delivery and you're just driving around, if you have this, right, it's a record of what actually happened, so that if you don't have an eyewitness, or if an eyewitness doesn't appropriately say what happened, because, you know, we're humans and maybe they thought they saw, the video doesn't lie, right? So this is just going to be helpful beyond the food delivery. And I wish I had it up already when that happened, because, you know, it might have.
I think to your point, Pedro, one quick note is, you know, when we capture, like, for example, the video, we actually can scan the images, and we also have the ability to look at the license plate.
Yeah.
You cannot, even in normal circumstances, because the guy hits and runs, right? Like you said, you know, it's very hard to capture the car's plate. But if you get an image of the car, and we can read, even if you're going 50 to 70 miles an hour, you can capture the license plate.
Well, plus, you know, the guy hit me in and he went around, he hit me from the behind, he went around and left. And like, I kind of saw what he looked like, but it happened quick. And sometimes it's like, you don't really know, right? Yeah. But if you get that video and those still images, it's obviously going to help you. So
145 degrees field of view. So you can capture like side hits and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And, like I said, even if he just, rushes past you, then you can capture that, hopefully. But yeah.
So the last question I had here that I think we should address is, are the delivery vests and camera available now?
Yes, they can go to gig.displayride.com and you can order it. I think there should be no issues, but if there's any, you can always write us at info@displayride.com. We have not publicly, by the way, you guys are the first guys. We have talked about the delivery cam. I think next week we're going to actually formally announce it. But for your listeners, we are already giving you the inside information. You can go to
I saw Chris from the ride. That's when I put up Chris Za. That's Chris from the rideshare guy. And I know you know Chris and Sergio.
Oh, yeah.
So he was like, he even said vest. What?
I have to get on it. My apologies to Chris and
well, no, I mean, they promote all this stuff too. They love it, you know.
I'm talking to them soon, so hopefully we can.
I see Carl saying, so mine's Steve. I don't actually know if Pedro's and Hannibal's are just their name. Mine, simply Steve, and Pedro's is Pedro. Not even the full names. I think it's just our first names. Hannibal's is Hannibal.
Yeah.
And
if you have any issues, again, as soon as you put the promo code, the numbers will change, the pricing will change. If it doesn't, just call us with the number on the screen. We'll just make sure it happens.
I mean, the vest would be big in New York City, right? For the scooters, for the riders.
Most definitely. I think especially how a lot of these, again, the crime going into not the safest areas to deliver food. It'd be extremely important to have something like that. I don't know if it maybe even an idea to have it on their bike, because the bikes get stolen too a whole lot of time. But definitely for them, just being in different neighborhoods, going into projects, you're going into a lot of darkened areas where you're not familiar with it. It's extremely important when you have, you walk around something is saying that something is being recorded. That does change up their mode. Like I said, they'll probably go for someone else that they think they can take advantage of. So this should be really, really important to kind of tell everyone out there, especially in New York City, about it.
And if you're walking in the nighttime, Hannibal, having a flashlight is always helpful.
100%. Yeah, 110%.
Well, plus these, I would imagine, I mean, I don't know the stats, but I would imagine a lot of bikes and e-bikers and stuff get hit.
Yes.
So I would imagine you might capture things that might change your entire outlook on that scenario.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a big difference, especially when you go to the courts and you try to argue back and forth who did what, how it happened. And sometimes a lot New York City drivers, we're in a rush, and sometimes we are not being safe 100%. And yet people get, opening car doors on bike lanes. Someone could just get hit, flip over. So yeah, I think it's vitally important to have a camera if you're going to be out there on the road with a bike or a scooter.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that I saw a couple. I see I'll be ordering one. I see Josh saying
Awesome.
I need this. So yeah, guys, I mean, like it is. I've had it for a long time. And if you have an old dash cam that's SD card that you've already paid for, still worth getting one, because somebody grabs that, you got nothing. I mean, to me, that always made no sense with the dash cams. Because that became a big thing. It was people grabbing them and running.
I mean, think about the time you spend. You have to remove the SD card. The SD card could be spoiled. There's so many things. It's just a headache.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So, and then if anybody has any questions for you, Abdul, how should they best reach out to you?
They can just email us at info@DisplayRide, info@DisplayRide.com.
Okay.
We're almost 7x24, almost, and we'll respond as quickly as we can.
Okay. So
I have an unboxing and installation video with all the features coming out tonight, so you can check it out. There's going to be information there. So I did a whole unboxing and show you guys how to put it together. So that'll be.
Does it show you struggling with the tape?
No. Hey, calm. I was just like, man, this is really the biggest part was getting that off. But yeah, so watch. It's a quick 5-minute tutorial on how to set it up and the features, and you guys can find all the links in that video. That'll be out tonight at 9:30 Eastern. So go over there and check that out as well.
You guys, this is the easiest thing in the world. I mean, we all need it, but there's really, for all of us that are like, oh, another thing I got to do. You just take it out of the box. It's so simple.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ready to roll the second you pull it out. So, yeah, I guess with that said, thank you, Abdul. Thank you, Hannibal. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, everybody who joined us. Thank you, everybody watching on the replay, because check it out, you guys. Go to DisplayRide. I was trying to bring that banner back up. Go to DisplayRide. You can learn all about all the products. And then if you put gig dot before DisplayRide, you'll see the vest. So
thank you so much, Steve.
Yeah, thank you, Abdul, and thank you, everybody. And we will see you here soon. Thank you for hopefully you guys are ordering some right now before he runs out. Quick, it's a flash sale. All right, later, guys.